Britain's got a long industrial history of mining for minerals, but unfortunately, although most of the mines closed at the end of the 19th century, we still have over 1,500 kilometres of river that are heavily polluted by metals such as cadmium and lead and zinc, and these cause harm to fish and other wildlife in rivers. What we're trying to do through the Water and Abandoned Metal Mines programme, which was set up in 2011, is to clean up this industrial legacy. It's a partnership between the Environment Agency, the Coal Authority and DEFRA, which is the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs in government. And if we're able to clean up all these rivers, we will deliver hundreds of millions of pounds in benefit for people and the economy, and also help to deliver the government's 25-year plan to improve the environment. The Force Crag mine was a lead and zinc and barytes mine in the Lake District that operated from 1835 until 1991. But unfortunately, the metals that were coming out of the mine in the mine water were polluting about 10 kilometres of the river and down into Bassenthwaite Lake, which is a special area of conservation. It's a very, very important part of the Lake District. The treatment system that we had designed for us by Newcastle University at Force Crag is the first time this technology has been used in Europe. It's really exciting because it uses natural processes to remove more than 90% of the metals from the mine water, simply by passing the mine water down through a compost layer which strips out the metals, and then you end up with a clean water that comes out of the bottom. We don't need to add any chemicals to that, so it's much cheaper to operate than other types of schemes, and it's been really, really effective. It's a very special site in the Lake District National Park and a Scheduled Ancient Monument because of the long history of mining there. And we were able to use some of the old waste ponds that the miners had operated to hold the treatment ponds now, which meant that we're now able to help to write the next chapter in the long industrial history of this site, as well as cleaning up the river for wildlife and people. In 1999, the Saltburn and Wheal stream turned bright orange overnight, and the orange colour carried on into the North Sea over a very popular surfing and bathing water beach. And this is because the mines gradually filled up with rainwater, and that started washing out really, really iron-rich water out of the ground. So after several years of development, in 2015, we built the Saltburn mine water treatment scheme. The treatment system works by pumping the mine water out of the ground, and that water is then passed over a series of cascades into a settlement pond, and that puts oxygen into the mine water. That takes out most of the iron, and then we take the fairly clean water through a large wetland that we had built, local reeds, flag iris and other waterflowers, and that takes out the last bits of iron from the mine water. It's great for bird life and wildfowl, and we have also put in some solar panels as a means of lowering the carbon footprint of this treatment scheme. Using these solar panels is a cleaner way of driving those pumps. Within a year of the treatment scheme starting operating, we had fish returning to the river, and the river is now clean, whereas before it looked very much like tomato soup. And we estimate this will deliver about £10 million of economic benefit to the local community over the next 25 years. In January 1992, there was a massive outbreak of 50 million litres of highly acidic water containing enormous amounts of cadmium, zinc, arsenic and copper, which polluted several kilometres of the river and turned the Fal estuary bright orange with the iron that was in that mine. The current treatment system was built in 2000, and it works by having 10 large pumps which keep the water level in the mine below the river level. That means that there's no water getting into the river from the mine workings. The treatment system works by taking that water and mixing it with lime and other chemicals The waste sludge is put into a tailings pond that was originally built in the 1970s when the mine was operating, and the clean water goes back into the Carnon River. Unfortunately, although the Wheal Jane treatment plant is incredibly effective, the River Carnon is still the most metal polluted river in England, and that's because there's lots of other sources of metals in that catchment. And one of the key sources there is the 65-kilometre long Great County Adit that drains most of western Cornwall, and we're looking at ways that we can begin to clean that up as well as all the other sources. We think we have about 100 schemes we need to build over the next few years, and we are developing 20 or 30 schemes at the moment which will be ready to build over the next sort of 5 to 10 years. If we don't take action to clean up this type of pollution, it'll continue to cause damage to the environment for hundreds more years.